Good morning, everybody. How are you? It's 10:34 down here. Makes it what, 11:34 up there? So it's morning. Yay! I got up. Wasn't easy, folks. Let me tell you. I watched most of that. I watched the debate. I watched a lot of the stuff afterwards. That was on CNN because that's pretty much all I get down here. In terms of straight up American news, I can go BBC and France 24 and some other places and get world news, but to get American news, it's strictly CNN. That's where I watched the debate. It was interesting. I thought watching it that Vance was doing a great job during the debate. I mean, I get bored watching those things. I cut away every once in a while and come back, and I'd watch this and I watched that, and I still thought that he was doing pretty good, and that it was civil, which was surprising, considering some of the things that Vance has uttered, that have come out of Vance's mouth in recent weeks. I was very surprised that it was very, very civil, cordial, until Walz asked the question about the 2020 election, and then Vance couldn't really answer it. And then he turned around and said, well, we did have a peaceful transition on January 20th. No. You had a peaceful transition because you had no choice at that point in time, because his coup had failed. But on January 6th, during the certification, which is another form of transference of power, you had violence. So, no, he didn't answer that question, and Trump still believes he won that election. Trump still believes he should have won the popular vote when he beat Hillary. He lost the popular vote by close to 8 million votes. That's why I don't like the Electoral College, okay? Because he should never have been president. But that's just nothing I could do about that. I don't understand it completely. I'm not sure. Looking at other countries, I'm not sure popular vote is the better way to go. But we'll see. Because when you look at other countries, you're looking at populations around 13, 14 million, maybe 20 million, not 300 million. So it's a much more difficult situation, and we'll have to wait and see. And plus, there's already charges of corruption going on now for this election, and I'm sure Trump is going to deny that he loses if he loses, which I hope he does, because that's the sake of democracy, and I mean, but Vance wants to be, Vance probably would have said that I don't know, if you asked Vance before he became involved with Trump, if Trump won or lost the election, he'd probably say Trump lost the election, but he would have given a lot of different reasons. I don't know whether he would have brought in corruption or not, but Vance is trying to position himself to be the next candidate for president after Fat Boy loses, or whatever. Fat Boy can't run twice, but what Vance doesn't realize is that Trump's going to try to die in office. He's never going to leave office again. So if he gets in, so he'll work around something. And Vance figures if he's there, he could be the king, the next in line for the throne. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think right now he's being used because he's probably one of the more educated and pretty presentable candidates that they have. The rest of them all have flaws. His flaws are, different, but they're there. I would have asked him, do you go to confession a lot? I mean, since you lie so much, do you go to confession a lot? Oh, man. And I would have gone as a sidebar. I would have said to him, and I love this question now when nobody asks it. I said, do you have any idea why he took the documents out down in Mar-a-Lago? I'm just curious, And that answer won't come forward because I don't know whether they can answer questions like that since it's an ongoing investigation. I don't know whether they can ask the questions in that forum. I mean, they could probably ask the questions if they ran into each other on the street, but I don't know whether they could do it in that forum. Okay. Rolling Stone was writing a bunch of articles this morning, and I read them, and they were all pro-Harris. And I'm not sure that, Vance didn't have one or two good points there, but it's what he says when he's not on the debate floor, what he says when he's walking down the street, in public and whatnot. He's just another tool, and that's a shame, because he seems to be a very intelligent man. And had the Republicans not gone off the deep end, and had he not, jumped on it and trying to be what he wants to be as president, it was an interesting fact that he hasn't had a job for like a year and a half. That's what he holds jobs for. So you have to assume they're planning on shooting Trump sometime in the after January 20th. Oh, excuse me. And he's then going to be president, and then, in a year and a half they'll shoot him again. I don't know what's going on, But I do know that I don't think Trump will survive his presidency, because I think that his own party, these people that are out there that want these things done, are going to find out that he's not going to do that unless you can figure out a way that it's going to put $1 billion in his pocket. That's his marketing tool. That's what it's all about. He wants to be president for life. He doesn't want to go to jail. It's weird, It's keeping him out of jail, so he's never going to give up the job if he gets it. The fascinating story that's going to appear after this is the weeks and months following the election. Should Trump lose, which a lot of people are predicting right now. But then again, you can predict all you want, but that's assuming that every person that you're counting on goes out to vote. That's assuming there's not a blizzard or hurricane, a insurrection in the area or whatever, or the votes, that it's a straight up honest election. And then, yeah, Kamala should win. But we all know it's not going to be a straight up honest election. What sort of attack or whatever is going to happen, I'm not really familiar with right now, I have some wild guesses, but I'm not going to put that through. I have opinions and I express my opinions, but I don't do wild guesses. So anything I say now about that, about what's going to happen at the end of this election, it'd be a wild guess, right? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, but when I stay up late, I sleep late. I didn't sleep that late this morning, and I got up early, and here I am, trying to function, which is, I should wait, but, me, I'm just, who cares? Nobody's really watching me that much, I watched, what was it? Was it, Midas Touch, I think it was, yeah. And I watched one of the reporters, which I've kind of, he cuts things, There's a video out there, you cut it. If you cut it the right way, you can present it as something that wasn't. And he does that a lot. And it doesn't have to, because it's Trump and he is screwing up, but these people decide they want to do what they want to. He wants to do what he wants to do because he thinks he's worth, he's smarter. That's the problem with people. They think they're smarter than everybody else. I don't think I'm smarter than everybody else. I'm standing here telling you what I think. Okay? You don't want to listen to me. You don't have to. You have your own ideas. There's a comment section on my videos. Go there, make a comment. tell me I suck, I'm crazy, or whatever. You know, that's fine with me. All right. What comes next? Oh, there was a lot of comments from some people that people that were involved in like around 2016 when they were saying they were assaulted by Trump. They're all making comments now, saying, you know, where he goes out and he says, "I'll be the protector of women." Now that's the biggest friggin' laugh I've ever had, because he made all those comments, you know, and there's tapes of it, so it's not a they were certified copies of it, so that's not, you know, something that was tampered with. It was real voice work, you know, and he still got elected. That just shows you how bad a candidate Hillary Clinton was. I think Hillary got elected because of her name, and that somebody thought she'd make the great first woman president, and Hillary's got a lot of baggage in her background, and some of it is criminal almost. You know, I can't prove it, but I think, you know, she was involved in some really shaky stuff. So, you know, I had a real problem back then. I forget whose name I wrote in, because I did a write-in violet vote for president. Everything else was legit, you know, because there was a lot of other things being voted on, and that's what I do. When I don't like the candidates in something, you know, I write in something outrageous, you know, and go from that. I was trying to remember, what's the name of the character from Mad Magazine where he goes, "What me worry?" That's who I usually write in. I can see him. I'm standing there seeing the smile and the big ears and everything, and I can't remember his name, you know. So, but that's who I write when I do write-in votes. I did that. I used to write in Bill Bradley's name, and I don't know what happened to him. He would have made. I think back then I thought he would make a great president, but all of a sudden he drops out for his wife's health, and I'm hoping that's the real reason, and that somebody didn't bring up the fact, you know, he was at cocaine parties when he was playing with the Knicks. So trust me, I was there. You know, he wasn't the angel everybody thought he was back in his youth. And I don't think anybody today that can stand up there and say I was an angel in their youth. You know, I mean, why nobody knows about me that way, that people, you know, don't know, it's because I never got caught. You know, I didn't do major crime. I didn't shoot anybody, kill anybody, didn't rob a bank or anything like that. But I would do things that were questionable in a legal sense, and I never got caught. And I never thought I was smarter than everybody else was the reason I never got caught. Never got caught because I would stop doing the action before it became, you know, something that somebody was going to be looking at. You know, I knew I was, especially when the computers came out and the registers, I knew more than any of the owners of the businesses I worked for. And, you know, you take a little bit here, you take a little bit there because they're paying you like shit and they're treating you like shit. So then I said, you know, but I stopped before it became, you know, an amount that would get me caught. I didn't rob on days when there was no business, you know what I mean? And I discovered over the years I discovered many ways that you could steal from a computer, you know, and I turned all the information over to the people that ran the businesses. You know what? They didn't do anything about it because they were stealing from the businesses, you know. They had somebody in the place that was robbing a joint and turning the money over, or a percentage of the money over, you know. So that was my excuse for being a goody two-shoes. I just never got caught. And I don't think there are probably a lot of people out there that never did anything that was wrong, or, you know, there are people out there that never had premarital sex. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there in the world, and that's their thing, you know. Do it, you know. I think J.D. Vance is like me. I think he probably did a lot of stuff that he should just never got caught at. I don't think he's a goody two shoes, because you can't. One of the things I've learned sitting in back rooms with politicians, and I've done that, is that you can't be in politics and be 100% honest. You cannot be a billionaire and be 100% sweet and honest. It's not possible. Now, maybe you didn't actually do the crime. Maybe somebody was somebody was working for you did it, and you can claim ignorance on that fact, but, you still profited from the deal. All right, I didn't have a lot to talk about today because the debate was so big. But like I said, I thought Vance did a really, really good job until he was asked a question concerning 2020, and then he just go right up Trump's ass. Okay, we'll see what happens with the rest of the reporting today, and we'll talk more tomorrow. Have a good day.